A really quick Byte tips on how I get sheet goods home when I have just a little hatchback. I made a rig, I'll show you in a second. I made the rig before I started the channel, so I didn't show how I made it. But it's pretty straightforward. So what I did was some half-lap joints out of 2x4 to create a 4x8 frame. And then I added cutouts. I used cardboard to template it for the roof rack rails. I'll show what this is for when I load up the car. Now on one of these sides I wrote front and back, that's back. Now, why was there a walnut on top of it? Lift it up so it doesn't snag the antenna. There we go. Now, my biggest worry when I'm driving is that the wind gets up under the windshield and channeled up onto the bottom of the board and tries to lift this up. These are not very skookum, but they help. I built this thing just kind of willy-nilly. I wasn't paying much attention, but you can see how that comes around like a hinge. So the idea is that if the wind does catch it, it's not super strong, but it gives me a little bit of more time to sort things out. What I also do is I open the sunroof when I'm driving home so I can keep a really good eye to see if it's starting to lift. I should note that I never take this on the highway. The closest Home Depot that I have is on side streets. I don't have to get onto the highway to get there. I'm not recommending this as a smart idea, to be absolutely clear. It comes with a lot of risks and dangers. I'm just showing you how I do it. Let's go to Home Depot. So I've got two sheets, a thin one and a thick one. I'm going to put the thin one on first. Now, as I mentioned, my biggest fear is the wind coming up under here and trying to lift these panels up. That's what this is for. So that just helps grab it. That alone's not enough though. So these just help to make sure it stays on the back. Sorry, the sun's really bright. Hopefully this will come through in editing. Even then though, I want to be a little bit more safer still. That's good English. And so I use ratchet straps just to be that little bit extra safe. This is the part that I always have a bit of trouble with, figuring out where to ratchet these off at. Can I reach this? Yes, I can. Let's do that again, one more direction. It looks like this might be really washed out. Hopefully not. So, grab it like that. Here, I'll show you what I did. So you can see the hook. Oh, you can't see shit right now. So there's the hook for the ratchet that loops around here, comes out, goes across. And the other one, it's hooked, looped around, and you get a cross over the back. Like so. Give this another couple pulls to make sure it's tight. Yeah, it's good. And this should not go anywhere. Okay, let's go home. So you can see what that does to my view. Not too much, still have good view. So what I'll do is, to make sure I can watch it on the way home, I open the sunroof, and now what I can do is, as I'm driving, I can sort of keep an ear, or keep an eye out, make sure it's not lifting, not sliding, not shifting, anything like that. Now the trick is getting this front piece off without dropping it on the windshield. All right, with one hand pushing this back. Obviously it'd be ideal if you had somebody else to help you. There we go. Don't worry, car, I'm not stealing you. I should mention that when I'm doing this, I never go above 70. I try to stay below 60 kilometers an hour. It may not seem like a big difference, but as you go faster and faster, the wind pressure, it doesn't increase linearly. So the amount of lift doing 80 versus 40 isn't twice. It's like, I think 4 times as much. I might be wrong with that. Point is, it's a lot, and it adds up fast. So if you're doing something like this, do not go on the highway. If I had to for some reason, I'd put the windows down and actually strap it through the roof of the car. Come on. These things get tangled really quickly, so it's nice to bundle them back up when you're putting them away. Future you will be very, very grateful to current you. Oh, and the reason I put the big one on top is because it's going to resist bending more and keep the whole thing flat. Pretty obvious, I'm sure. The hook thing that holds my door open is broken, so it's always fun to get these sheets into the house. Probably should have fixed it by now. But I have not. When I get my next car, I'm going to redo these to swing better. This one swings really nice, but it's the only one that does. I slapped this together and yeah, wasn't the best. Now I have to undo them in a certain order. That side there is too tight, so I have to lift this up, pull it back to give me the space to swing this as the arse end kicks out. I did not center that at all. Center the screw, that is. And that's how I get my sheet goods home with the hatchback and not a truck.